No, but I
Why do
don't.
we have to go?
Tomorrow, I got a call from Oscar Goodman today. He wants to know if I'm going to be there tomorrow for the city or the state of the city or city address or whatever you call it.
His wifey Pooh's giving it.
Yeah. Did you hear from Gerardo Rivera?
No, I haven't heard anything from him. I played one of his old shows yesterday.
Did you hear?
Never called, nothing.
No, he texted me, and I don't know why he don't text you. He texted me to put a no show.
Oh, well, that's what I did anyways.
Yeah, I figure you did.
See,
You know, let me tell you what the corruption, how the corruption work in this state.
We're on, so we gotta turn on the radio. I mean, Prairie Arrow.
The slaughter of innocents in Paris. Innocents in San Bernardino, California.
Moving from the,
It's something in this. It's.
War against terror.
Go ahead.
well, we try our best, we do our best. This is Face the Tribune with Rolando Larraz and Clark Feeley. My producer, Mr. Producer.
Yes.
You know, and the Las Vegas Tribune is out in the mail already. I think a lot of people already got it, and the other ones that don't get it is because they haven't wake up yet and not open the computer. You know, like Clark
They're
for.
probably waiting for a wake-up call.
Yeah, they're probably waiting for wake up call. They need to wake up, and so General Pataki is meeting in the White House in a closed door. You hear about that?
No.
Oh yeah,
Did your girlfriend tell you that, Tarantula?
yeah. She said that they meeting with him. He flew in this morning directly into the meeting, and
Wow, that's interesting. The White House.
yeah, not the White House. The commission for the Benghazi investigation.
Oh, perfect. Okay,
Yeah.
that's better. The White House confused the hell out of me.
Yeah. And they gonna have also. They are going to have Leo Pineda interview too. He gonna testify. The former CIA director.
We had a guest the other day that thought that Hillary Clinton just did wonderful in those Benghazi hearings. What a great job she did. I think it's more of a reflection of what the poor system is with that whole hearing process, because you get to ask your question of Hillary, 3 minutes, whatever it lasts, the answer. And then the other side gets to restore the witness by praising her on all this stuff and what a great this and that. And then the next person asks another question, and then it goes back to the praise question.
Where was that at?
The Benghazi hearing. that
I
went
know,
on for
but
11
you
hours.
had the guest here?
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh, really?
Bob Beckett
Yeah.
said that he thought Hillary just did wonderful. I think it's more a reflection of how poor the whole hearing process is. It's not
Really?
that she did wonderful, it's that the system is terrible. Because what kind of a court of law does somebody get on the stand and you interrogate them for 2 minutes or whatever, and then the other side gets to restore the witness?
And he's a Republican.
And then you ask another question, and I mean, there's so many people that don't really see the total picture. How can you say she did wonderful? Just the fact that she's there is ridiculous,
yeah.
But anyways, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Just my
No,
point.
no, that's
Just
fine.
my
That's
point
what
of
we're
view.
talking about. We was talking about the Benghazi investigation.
Well, I heard my sources, of course, which are always right on, And I'm never wrong. I'm always right. So I'd hate to make a prediction and for the first time in my life be proven wrong. But the word is coming down pretty solidly now that they're going to indict Hillary within 60 days.
99.9?
Yeah, and if they don't, it's going to cause a tremendous turmoil between the FBI and the Department of Justice, and heads will roll big time. Now, my theory has always been, as you well know, that I think Obama is no friend of the Clintons, and I think he might give the nod to his puppet Lynch. Well, if the FBI, do your job, and the FBI has the goods. I guarantee you, they have the goods.
Yeah, and the guy who is in charge now seems to be a very
His reputation anyway
is impeccable.
solid.
Yeah,
So we'll see.
and I don't know which would be better or worse, Hillary or Joe Biden cannot register now, right? He cannot be.
I think he probably can. And then, of course, we have the pen and the phone.
Oh, yeah.
So he can sign an executive order. That if he can take away our Second Amendment rights with a stroke of a pen, why can't he change the whole electorate? Why doesn't he just, with an executive order, make Biden the next president? What would be wrong with that? That would end up in court, but so does everything else he does.
Well,
So what's the problem?
yeah. Well, the problem is then
The pesky little thing called the
the
Constitution.
pen can run out of ink too.
Who?
The pen can run out of ink,
Oh, well, we're anxiously awaiting that moment.
and the
that's for
battery
sure.
in the phone can go down. It's not that much of a. So.
Yeah. Anyways, I don't know. If you try to figure out this administration and this despicable liberal progressive process, and you'll go crazy because nothing makes sense. So it's over my head. I can't figure it out. I never thought that Obama would ever get elected. He was an empty suit from day one. He just had nothing. He's the most unqualified person until now
Well,
that's ever run for president.
That's why I'm saying, and I'm going to repeat this so anybody can hold me up to this. If any Democrat win the election this year, I am retiring. I close the paper because it's not going to be good to have it anyway, unless I can wait until the government close the paper and I can cry victim, one of the two. But I don't think it is any, and I'm afraid then if they close the paper, they might lock me up. So because
Well,
they
they're three squares a day, as they say.
freedom of press is freedom of speech, freedom of anything.
Then you can go into wherever you're going to go when they give you the 3 squares a day, and then you can have that sex operation you've been waiting for.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a
'cause
good
other inmates get that
That's
paid
a
for
good
by the
idea.
government.
That's a good
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
But I don't know. It's kind of difficult to. But there is a prisoner.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up.
There's an inmate, then they have the sex operation.
Going to jail now is called going on the lam, so to speak. You get 3 squares a day. One of them may be lamb, even, I don't know. And and then you can have sex operations and changes, and you get all these rights. You get to do a 1983.
Can I have plastic surgery too to make me look younger?
Sure,
or-
anything you want. So just go get it.
Yeah.
And then otherwise, if they don't give it to you, you file a 1983 suit, which is a violation of your civil rights, depriving you of the right to happiness and all that. So if you're not happy in jail, they're violating your rights.
Oh my God, that's
So
a
it's-
terrible
it's-
thing.
yeah.
Terrible charge to the government violating my rights.
Right.
What-
And that's the only place, I guess, where you can get a fair hearing, because you sure can't get it in the courts. That's for sure. That's all fixed for the
Well-
lawyers to make money.
And that's why I wanted to talk about it today. I just find out, I couldn't believe when I hear that the doctor in the penitentiary in Nevada refuse to give the inmates the medicine that they are being taken to stabilize their mood, those that are schizophrenic or anything like that, because they expect then if they don't take the medicine, they are going to go ballistic.
Something like Prozac, is it called? Something
I don't
like
know
that?
what it is. I haven't get
know
all the
there's
information
a lot
yet.
of drugs like that, I think.
But they don't want it. The nurse told the inmates, it's several inmates, not only one, several. Then the doctor refused to renew the prescription. They're not going to give him any more
and
medicine.
is there a reason for that?
Yeah, well, I assume, but
Published reason, it doesn't have to be true.
my conspiracy theory mentality it tells me that what they want is those people to go ballistic, go crazy.
And then Obama can release them.
No, so they can kill him.
Oh.
So they can kill him because there was rioting inside.
Do they get to sell the parts?
Last year, 2015, there was more death inside the prison than it was outside the prison. I mean, in Carson City and
Probably percentage-wise to the population.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
And
Jeez.
I can't
So they
believe.
want to kill. What would be the advantage to killing them?
What is the advantage of killing all those people that they've been killing? Look at that guy that
They sell
was.
the parts.
The guy was handcuffed, and they shoot him in the back.
Well, that was
It was what?
a reflective action. If a car backfires, when you police are in that situation with their guns in hand, with their fingers on the trigger, and a car backfires, all those police are going to retroactively, let's say, or reactively pull the trigger.
Yeah.
Because they think someone's shot.
Yeah.
And it's probably the guy in handcuffs. I don't know how he did it, but I've seen magicians do things like that. Even in handcuffs, the great Houdini or whatever.
Yeah, but
That
they
was no
don't.
problem for
They
him.
don't have cars inside the prison. That was inside the building.
They don't have.
They don't
In
have.
a delivery truck or anything on the yard.
Well, outside.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, outside. But it could.
so he was in jail.
Anything
I
is
don't know
possible.
which is that one. I didn't know if I heard.
Any-
They shot a prisoner in handcuffs in the prison.
Yeah.
And shot him in the back.
Yeah.
When did that happen?
About two. Well, they keep it on the height. They keep it on under the cover for about a year or year and a half.
Wow.
And now the family is suing.
Do we have any video?
I think it was on video. I don't have it. I don't have it.
No, but I mean, you think it's on video.
Yeah.
Otherwise, how would anyone know? They'd keep it swept under the rug.
Yeah. Well, somehow it came to light.
Now,
and-
what happens in a situation like that? The person that actually did the shooting, he gets nothing. He may get a pension. He may disappear or something going down there with
No, I think
Lois Lerner, wherever
I'm
she's-
not sure, and I want to make sure that I'm not misleading any information over here. I was told that he got 1 week suspension.
Yeah, there you go. See, something like that. And then who pays the price on this lawsuit? Like Baltimore made a settlement before there was even a lawsuit of $4 or $6 million. I've heard both figures. The largest settlement prior to that in Baltimore had been $400,000.
And now,
so
now,
who pays the price?
and
The
now
taxpayers.
I learned that the Honorable Doc Smith have sent a letter, I don't know to who, I guess the administration or whatever, then he, with a list of lawyers that he would not allow to practice in his courtroom.
Wow. Okay. Well, did they not contribute?
Probably
To the
not.
campaign, yeah.
Also, what was the next thing? Also, the Public Information Office and the courthouse was ordered not to communicate with Las Vegas Tribune anymore.
When did this happen?
Well, I don't know when the order came, but I'm going to be calling the chief judge soon, and I'm going to find out what the reason is, and I think that all comes from I don't know, either Bill Kephart or it come from Doc Smith or I don't know who else. It's because Judge Earl is the one that I've been writing about. Supposedly is very ill, very sick. I don't think he's sick, but me and my
Sick in the
conspiracy
head.
theory mentality, But I'm going to be calling. But I was so jammed this morning, since 4 o'clock in the morning. We have problem with the computer system in the other office, and I tell you, I could not understand why those things happening.
Where did you hear this?
I can't reveal my sources. I had to protect my sources, and
Well-
I am allowed to protect my sources by the
Okay.
law.
Oh,
I don't have to identify.
there's law?
Yeah, well,
Where did you get that
it
misconception?
used to be. It used to
Well,
be
law
law.
to me wouldn't be somebody like a court system or what have you sending down an order to bar a news outlet. That's anti-First Amendment rights and everything. How can that even be possible? The person at that college that tried to throw the reporter off the campus because they were filming an event or whatever, because they're news, and this professor came up yelling and screaming to get him out of there, asking for help from security, and this and that, she lost her job. So you can't throw out the media. The people have a right to the news, whether it's wrong or right. Untruthful or truthful, they have
Well,
a right.
maybe they don't consider internet media to be a media, but I
Well,
believe
it is.
I believe if they can take my money for the business license, I am a media, and I believe that if I pay my rent and I pay my phone bill and I pay my taxes, I believe then it will be.
Well, where's the flack on what they're upset about? Why don't they point to whatever they're upset about? And if it's not true, say so. Why isn't there any communication?
I had a guy one time tell me, he come over and he said to me, why don't you stop banging in this guy? Why do you got against him? Why do you insist in writing bad things about him? I said, I'm not writing bad things about him. I'm reporting what he's doing. If he doesn't do it, I don't have nothing to write. As simple as that.
Well, it's better than some other publications that make the news so they can report it. At least you're not doing that. You're at least reporting things that somebody did on their own.
I told him, I said, if that person, that judge, do not do anything wrong, I have no reason to write about him. I'm not going to create it. I'm not going to invent it. I don't have a badge and a gun where they tell you, well, you can create something. Well, what do you mean create? Fabricate? Well, call it whatever you want. Fabricate it, lie, whatever you want to call it.
What was the dictate again? Not to do what?
Not to communicate with the Tribune.
Okay. So, in other words, they're
I call over there.
restricting.
I leave a message for her, and she don't answer. I email her asking for information. Then I am.
So you were trying to get information on a potential story or whatever.
Yeah.
Verify the facts, let's say.
Right.
And they won't verify the facts.
Right.
So that's a violation. of
Which
free
I don't know.
speech.
Recently, I wrote about that. Calling the public information office is just a procedure, just to keep.
Is the Review Journal under the same restrictions now because
No.
of the article about the 3 judges?
No.
Well, why wouldn't they be? They're doing more than you're ever doing. They're watching judges. Not only reporting what the judges do, they're watching them to see what they do.
They've been watching it for years
They never reported anything.
because they live there with them.
Oh,
They have a free office over there, free space for operating the corrupted business. You know, Los Angeles
maybe you
Times.
should get equal time, get in office over there like the Review Journal,
Los
and then they would
Angeles-
have to throw you out.
Los Angeles Times has to come over here and write
Oh, yeah.
story.
That was, what year was that? Was that about 08 or 09
Something
in that
like that,
neighborhood? Those were excellent stories. I read the whole thing. I think there were several of them. It was a series.
And,
I tell you what,
the Review Journal just reprinted. They didn't even
Yeah.
they don't have the audacity to go out and investigate and maybe change some of the paragraphs or maybe
how does a newspaper like from another state come in to report your news? I mean, what kind of embarrassment
especially
is
a city like Los Angeles and
Exactly.
is super corrupted.
that? Exactly. They come here for a story on corruption. That's a
Yeah.
good mark, huh?
Yeah.
That's a gold star for somebody.
I suggested that the Review Journal should go over there and write a story about the corruption in Los Angeles. But they don't listen to me. I talk with an accent, you know. But
That story relayed a fundraiser for a judge named Gene Porter that was held up at Big Bear. And at that fundraiser, there was talk from Gene Porter that, don't you have a case coming up in front of me Monday morning? Oh, and you did put a check over there in that bowl, right?
Really?
You know, that's what was reported, that type of stuff. And it's hard hitting, and it's true. Who the hell can't believe that? Think about the system. You have a system where lawyers are dependent upon their livelihood by going before these particular judges and relying upon them to get a particular ruling. And, I mean, what could be easier if a judge is under the gun, so to speak, to raise campaign funds so that he can effectively run an election campaign and, you know, against whatever opposition he's facing? It would be a natural thing to go to the lawyers practicing before you that have to rely upon your decisions for their livelihood to say, hey, Mr. Lawyer, you want to have a good ruling in this case? There's a bull over here. You better feather it up.
we need to start working on that lady that Don met the other day. We need to talk to her, man. She need to come by.
Yeah, my understanding, I don't know, didn't talk to her, but my
She was
understanding
very
is that she has a grant from the National Science Foundation, and she seems to be very aware of doing things about corruption. And she is having difficulty getting information from the system. Gee,
Yeah,
you think?
yeah.
How about if you were the FBI and you go to like Martha Stewart and you can't get her to give you information? What happens? Martha Stewart trots off to jail for a year or two or whatever that was.
Yeah.
You know, where's the information? Why can't you get information about something that's corruption? Corruption.
And you know, if you don't give information, they create a crime that involve you so they can screw with you.
Exactly.
You know.
It's the most divisive, destructive thing in the society is corruption.
It's their way or the highway.
Yeah, and then
The
they
highway
have
to the prison.
authority,
Yeah.
so it's abuse of power, and they use it every single day.
It's their way or they way to the highway and way to the penitentiary.
Yeah, and then they need belts, notches on their belt that they can show that they're doing such a good job putting all these criminals away. What happens when half of the people you're putting away, DNA eventually proves they weren't even guilty of anything? or they were 300 miles away.
I'm working in a case like that now too.
Yeah.
Well, and then you got Christine Lobato. Then she wasn't even in Las Vegas when that happened, and the judge refused to let the jury know about that.
You take that case with those players in Duke University, I think it was, they got accused of raping this hooker, which was a completely false story, but the DA ran with it to get himself a big name. Well, the problem with that deal was it went national. This was a huge story. And
Yeah.
then when it got caught that it was all fraud, well, that DA had to pay the price. And I don't think he's a DA any longer. But that's the kind of national exposure is the only thing that works. Otherwise, a DA will never admit that he made a mistake.
Let me tell you, it was a story here one time. This is, I don't know, 20, 25 years ago, probably more. And I don't know who was it, NBC or CBS or ABC, one of those networks was coming to Las Vegas to investigate that case. And the only reason that I'm not saying what case is because, honestly, I don't remember. All I know that it involved the justice system, the judicial system, not the justice, the judicial system. And half an hour after they arrived, they contact to tell us that we're here, we're going to have breakfast, we meet later. And an hour later, they called the contact and they said, we live in town, we got to go back to whatever, New York or whatever it was, in an hour.
They had the waiter said something at the breakfast, or something happened at breakfast.
Yeah, I think they got diarrhea or something.
Something happened. Bad eggs. I
Bad
guess.
eggs, yeah. And they had to get the next plane back.
Yeah.
And
Almost a remembrance of that Ralph
contact.
Lamb who met that plane at the airport that was full of mafia guys, whatever year that was, and just turned the plane around and sent them home. Remember that? Recall that story?
Yeah,
Kind of like the same thing. Those guys went home.
yeah.
How
And
come
so
the
that's why
reporters
it's so
from-
difficult. It is so difficult to report anything that happened in Las Vegas. It's
Well,
very
I think the newspaper article we were mentioning earlier that came out of L.A., that was probably written, signed, sealed, and delivered in L.A. They probably didn't have to come to Nevada
no.
to get that
The
information.
two reporters were staying at the Golden Nugget.
Oh, okay.
They were staying at the Golden Nugget. They was here for a couple weeks, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
And what kind of, attitude did everybody have?
I don't know. I kept the paper, but who knows where it is now? It's being.
Well, it's online.
It is
Oh, I
online.
read it online. It comes
Oh,
right
really?
up. Oh, just put L.A. Times corruption Las Vegas. There it is.
Oh, really? Oh, I'm going to see if I can get it because I like to refresh my memory.
I found it, as a matter of fact. I wasn't told about the story. I was doing research about my case, and I was just typing things in to Google or whatever, and all of a sudden, this thing comes up. And I go, what is this? And I read like one or two lines. I went, holy smokes. And then, of course, I went on and read the whole thing numerous times. I'm going, wow, this is exactly what we're talking about.
Well, it was a
And
little.
I knew Gene Porter because he did an arbitration hearing on my case that was a joke, an absolute rip-off joke.
In this case?
Yes.
Or
Yeah.
after he was not a judge.
He wasn't a judge. He's doing consultant work or
arbitration,
whatever,
yeah.
which is just a joke. It's an
That is
absolute
a
joke.
That is what Jackie
What he
Jackie
did, and I'll
Glass
tell
is
you what
doing
he
now.
did, so you know the despicability. You get in this office thing, whatever. One side goes in one room, and the other side goes in the other room, and you have your lawyer there, whatever. Well, Gene Porter goes from room to room, and in whatever room he's in, he tells those people, well, they don't have anything over there. You're gonna, this and that. So he tells them what they want to hear. Then he comes into the other room and tells those
The
people
same
what
thing.
he wanted, and it's not true. Now, in my particular case, I didn't have a spy per se, but I had someone that was on the fence, and she was in the other room. And she wasn't really one way or the other at the moment. She was in the other room because she could be there.
Yeah.
She didn't know what else to do, and she didn't know the format. Well, after the hearing, now I hear all this stuff that was said in the other room. I'm going, what the hell is this? And we paid this guy thousands of dollars, and he did nothing. Nothing.
Yeah, I never hear about the 2 rooms. I've been in depositions, and
I thought it was like a trial in a way. That's the way it was promoted to me. This guy's an ex-judge, and he doesn't take any crap from anybody, and he'll get to the bottom of this.
The deposition then I have been is always sitting in one side is the one side, and the other side is the other side, and the lawyer is here, and the
right, but you don't,
referee
in that
was-
setup, you don't have both sides per se there.
Yeah.
No, not in a deposition that I've been in. It's they're deposing you, and the opposing party is not there. Their counsel's there.
Yeah, no, remember the other day, I don't know if you was here or not, somebody was talking about the guy, then...
I take that back. I could be. I was at my sister's deposition, but I couldn't say anything.
well, you got time to do it after she finished, but...
It wasn't a situation where she says something, then I say
Yeah,
something.
I think Bob Beckett was talking about that. The guy that went to my office and started throwing all the desk away, and the editor that was working there at that time pulled a gun, and then the guy sued me for lack of security, you know. And but how can he complain about lack of security when he went there and throw all the desk, and the guy only got one arm,
That's what I heard the other day, yeah.
you know, and one side was there, and we was here.
That's your in-house
We're
guy.
here.
Where else?
Oh, the warehouse. Okay.
Warehouse.
Oh,
Well, anyways,
So- I don't know. I think this year is going to be a good year for changes. You know, maybe we did have to wait 7.5 years to get the changes and the hope that Mr. Obama was promising the country, but maybe happen. Maybe the judicial system is going to change. Maybe the
well, it better. Otherwise, we don't have a country anymore.
well, we don't have a country anymore.
Well,
We lost the country. We need to get it back.
well, there you go. So I
That's
said-
what it is.
That's kind of what I said. I said we don't have a country anymore. We need to get it back. You're right.
Yeah, that's
And,
Anyway, what do you see about these people over there in Oregon, the group of the cowboys?
well, the Bundy clan is there, I guess, because it's something that's going to attract national news for sure. It already has. It's gone all over the place. And I think it's the overreach of the government. There's no doubt about that. They overreach. That's their nature. Anytime there's anything happens, they're gonna, try to show who's boss, so to speak. What they fail to realize, or have been distorted into thinking, is that the boss of this country is the people. It's not these elected officials or people with a badge. They're not the boss. They work for us, and that's the factor that needs to be brought back home in getting our country back. That's probably one of the most important elements that has to be shown. Clyde Bundy up here kind of won that one in a way, because they were taking his cattle and this and that, stealing it, if you will. I think some of the cattle died maybe in the process, but he got most of it back. So is that not a win? The government didn't get away with everything they were trying to do. And why didn't they? Because of national exposure.
I think they want the national exposure. That's what
Absolutely.
they wanted. They wanted that because all they got to do.
It's the only way to fix it.
Assuming that he was supposed to be paying rent for that land, all they got to do is sue him for the money. And if he doesn't, then they can file paper for eviction notice and give him time to. It would be another normal average day in court. They didn't need to go that far, like go over there by taking things by the balls.
Well, speaking of Trump, you're familiar with his place in Palm Beach called Mar-a-Lago or whatever.
Yeah.
That used to be the Post estate the
But
very
isn't
wealthy.
that in Florida?
It's in Florida.
Yeah, you said Palm Beach. Oh, Palm Beach.
Florida,
I thought
right,
you
right.
said Palm Springs.
No, Palm Beach.
Palm Beach.
Anyways, that was the whatever her first name was, Post, and a very long time from Post Cereal, I guess. I don't know, but very very wealthy family had this estate, and they gave it to the state, like to have a museum or whatever, to give it. So the state found out pretty quick that there was something called maintenance involved with this gift, and they couldn't afford the maintenance, right? So there's costs. When you own something, there's costs. When the BML goes out here and grabs all this land, there's a certain cost to that. And how do you effectively manage and control the land? There's costs to that. And the BML is not very good at managing, shall we say. So these ranchers, they do what should be done with the land, is they send their cows or what have you to graze on the land. That's good. That's kind of like the cows are doing the maintenance that needs to be done. Right. In this particular case in Oregon, one of the ways that fires are controlled so they don't get out of hand is actually the opposite of what you would think. You set a back whatever fire, and then that stops the fire. When it hits the other fire, there's nothing left to burn, so that stops the fire from progressing past that point. So it's like a stopgap, and that's the way you manage land. The BLM is very bad at that, very bad at that. But the ranchers did this to stop the fire from progressing to their land. So what did they do wrong? They managed the property right. That's what happens when private people get involved. They have a tendency to do things right, because if they don't, it's going to cost them.
That's right.
And the government, who does it cost? The taxpayers. When the government screws up, who pays the price?
And they have to go back to the printer and print more money.
Exactly. And that's what causes the collapse eventually. That's what we're going through now. We have a $19 trillion debt.
And they have the audacity. They have the audacity to say that we are getting better.
Well, that's because, we're in a situation here that's getting to be a catch-22 for a particular liberal running for president, where she's towing the line right now because in the primary process, it's awful hard if she attacks the administration that she more or less had something to do with for 4 years. And so she's taken the position that everything's just wonderful. Yeah. That Obama didn't make any mistakes. Everything's perfect. Yeah. Well, how does she sustain that when it gets to the national election, after the nomination process, if she makes it? How does she maintain that?
Yeah. That's what I was thinking the other day when I hear Bernie Sanders talking about free this and free that and free students.
He just doesn't have the full beard. He's missing the
beard from Fidel Castro?
No, from Santa Claus.
Oh, Santa Claus.
He has the hair.
Yeah.
He just doesn't have the beard.
Oh, I thought there was...
maybe it's not Christmas. Maybe he shaved it off.
Yeah, but how are they going to pay for all that?
That's not part of the socialism problem. The problem is they have plenty of other people's money.
I had a guy yesterday call, I think I mentioned it in yesterday's program. The guy said that there's no need to send all these illegals back to their country. And I said, why not? Because they are here breaking the law. I'm nobody to judge anybody else. The part, I don't know if they are criminals, if they hard worker. Most of the people that I know, then I have the idea that they are illegals. Yes, I have to say they hard working, they work all day long, and they live 17 in one house, and they save their money. So that's how they get to get those big trucks that cost $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, but they live in the charo. I don't know what charo they living on, because I tell you, I would love to live in that charo too. Okay, they got the jobs, they got a bank account, They got driver's license. What is the benefit for them to become legal? It's no benefit.
Not really. Even the driver's license, the theory behind that is, would you rather have these illegals have a driver's license so we know who they are and we can control their driving, so to speak, have something we can take away from them, or would you rather them not have anything? What can we take away?
I know. My brother had a car accident with an illegal that was driving at a speed limit coming out of a driveway. My brother was
coming out of a driveway.
Out of one of those shopping centers.
Okay.
Yeah, not the driveway. I don't know.
Out of a parking lot.
The exit of the parking lot. And my brother was standing over there waiting for the light to change, and he went boom and hit my brother.
Stopped.
He got no car.
Your brother was stopped.
Yeah.
At a light.
He got no car. The car wasn't in his name.
Oh.
He got no driver's license, no insurance.
Right.
Okay. And my brother is a handicap now. He is in a wheelchair. And nobody did anything.
Yeah,
the
what
guy,
can you do?
the guy
What
didn't
can
go
you
to.
do?
The guy didn't go to jail. The guy don't. Every time I see somebody making a big deal about an accident, I have to figure out that somebody important is there. Somebody important is involved in there, or the reputation of somebody, like that guy Harris. Then shoot another car and. He lost control of his car and hit a taxi, and the taxi exploded. They say he's a pimp. I thought he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was a rapper, but now he's a pimp.
Right. Well, you can be a pimp rapper.
Well, could be. Yeah, I don't know because I'm not a rapper. I don't know. I don't even know how to talk. How can I sing? And now they give him the death penalty.
Right.
Now he's going to sit there in the death penalty for 35 years.
Yeah, die from old age.
He'll die from old age,
On the lam, 3 squares a day.
It's a joke. This system is becoming a joke. And I don't know why the people in this country or in this state or in this city, whatever you want to call it, keep taking it. Keep taking it. It's like... it's like getting fucked with our Vaseline,
Yeah, well, I think that one good possibility is that that'll go on for just so long. And then it stops because people end up seeing. Eventually, they will see. It takes these low information people a long time to see, but I think we're right at the precipice now where enough people are starting to see. And I say that enough because we can control maybe the next election.
And that was my idea. That was one of the reasons why I invited Steve Sampson last Monday to be in this show.
Yeah,
because I think all the people that are willing to expose every corruption they know, every corruption they learn that happen in different jurisdictions, we need to put it together. It's
probably the most destructive disease there is.
And we need to get network. We need to have a network like the ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News. What was the other one that screwed up the
MSLSD?
Yeah, MSLSD. I don't know how
and
I
the
can
other
put
good
it, but
signal is that all the ratings of those liberal-leaning progressive shows is terrible.
And I'm the kind of person then I don't care who the person is. And I admitted on the air Monday, I said, Steve is not one of my favorite people, but he's doing a good job. And he's doing a good job. I had to give him credit. And if he's doing a good job and he allowed me to report what he find out, I will do it.
Absolutely. You'd be crazy not to.
Because I'm interested in the best thing for this community. I'm not interested in anything else but make this community.
You're trying to make Nevada, Las Vegas, Nevada great again, is what you're trying to do.
Yes, Las Vegas great again.
Right.
And then when our president take over, we're gonna be perfect for that.
Yep.
Make America great again and make Nevada great again.
Yep. That's the right attitude.
I don't care who is it. I don't care if I have to pact with the devil, as long as the people in Nevada, especially in Las Vegas and Clark County, will benefit from that pact. Like I said before, and I say it again, I'm old. With the money that I got coming, that I have the right to have, I can live perfect. I don't need, I need this newspaper like I need a hole in my head. But I think I owe this to the state of Nevada. Call me whatever you want to call me. Call me a stupid, call me anything. Call me a dreamer, call me, I'm not a dreamer because I'm here legal, but...
Well, we're led by people that are incompetent. And that's one of Trump's main theories, is that we have dumb people running this country. Now, as an example, Medicare, Social Security, all these entitlements are going to go broke, supposedly, by 2033. Right now, they're over 50% of all the money goes to entitlements. It's projected that by 2033, all the money.
17 years from now.
We won't have any money for the defense.
I won't
we won't
be
have
here.
any money for anything. And then what happens?
I won't be here.
And the reason that happens is we run this country on elections. We don't run the country on sound financial principles. Ever. Have we ever done that? Except maybe when the liberals got kicked out of Congress back in Newt Gingrich's days. Maybe for a few years there, things started to get straightened out. And I think we actually had a balanced budget for a few years there. And that was a step in the right direction. And then here comes the news media attacking the people in power, like Gingrich. And $150 million was spent in
Gingrich
false
was
advertising to get rid of Gingrich.
Gingrich was the one that was having a fight with Jimmy Carter, right?
I'm not sure it was Jimmy Carter. Yeah, it might have been.
Yeah.
But
Oh
Congress-
man, they went on each other like crazy, you know. But that is why I keep telling people we need to elect new people. Right now, this year, is 4 county commissioners are gonna be running for re-election. Let's find somebody to take over that county commissioner and take the old
Now,
people
what
out.
would the background be of an ideal candidate?
I don't know, Pete. So a person then will be able to come out with good ideas. Great,
And where do those come from? They don't come from lawyer background. They come from business background.
yeah,
Successful producers.
yeah. But look, like for example, Chris
And they
G.
don't want it.
Chris G. is not an attorney. She is a teacher. You know, it's a balance. It's a balance in the commissioner because she can advocate for the
Teachers
students.
can be good.
Yeah. And then you got Steve Sisolak that was in the telemarketing, and that's how he make his money. And so he know about how to lie to people. And, you know, those telemarketers are, you know, I don't know how to
He
explain.
was a telemarketer that was selling products.
Well, he was not a telemarketer. He owned the telemarketing company.
Right, but he was selling legitimate products.
Yeah.
And not selling old ladies a plan that they don't need or ripping
Right,
people off.
right.
So he was actually selling something that
Oh, yeah.
people
yeah.
could use.
Yeah.
Whether it was pencils or cups or whatever he was selling. You know, I think he had a catalog and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. But he
more or
know-
less, as telemarketers go, the higher end of respectability.
Yeah,
on a
but
very
he
low-
know, but he knows how to do business.
Right,
and,
exactly.
You know, and stuff like that. But the problem is, many of those people, like for example, Larry Weekly. I believe that Larry Weekly is the black talking in the commissioner. You know, he never held other job but the city or the county.
Now, that's distorted.
And I think he's taking a business administration now, and he's taking I don't know, he wants to be a lawyer or something.
We
But
were talking the other day about like the appellate judges and maybe the Supreme Court, that they have to rule by law. They don't have to make a
Right.
discretionary decision of whether someone's telling the truth or not, like judges do. But the perfect candidate, I think, for an appellate level like that is somebody that doesn't come necessarily up the ladder, having
Right.
worked in the
That's-
municipal, the judicial, the district. Those people are contaminated.
That's what
because
I
they've been
say.
part of the process,
And
and
like
they have
I-
strings attached to them.
and also somebody that never wear a black robe before, because the love affair with those people are unbelievable. Okay, they need to have new people. They need to have people that can be fair to the victims and
That's
the
the
criminals.
problem, is they don't rule by law.
They become right away too friendly with each other, and they will never go against each other.
I mean, I would be a perfect judge. Perfect. I don't know the law. Perfect. But I know how to read the law. And if someone came to me
Yeah,
with
you
a
do.
case,
Yeah, you
I
do.
would go,
Yeah, you
well, let's look at the law. And
Yeah.
I would read, the word must means you have to do it. The word should means, well, you have discretion. You can or you can't. It's up to
Well,
you.
that would be the English language. That would be
Right.
that would not be the law, right?
Well, it's in the law because those words are used in the law. When a judge takes a word like must and rules, well, when he reverberates the law, he puts should instead of must. He just changed the law. See, I can't do that. I would notice that like a flashing red light. Whoa, hold on here. What is this? So I would make a great judge because of common sense, and let's look at the law. How unique that would be. I don't have a legal background, so I don't qualify. We need to eliminate that process. Well, you have to have 5 years, is it, as a lawyer before you can even run for a judge?
For justice court, 10 years
Whatever.
for 10 years for
For worse than.
10
So-
years for district court.
That means I think that somewheres along the line between going to law school, from that day on, at some point, depending on the individual, at some point, they've lost all their common sense. Some people, it happens the first year, sometimes maybe 5 years. But after a while, anybody that works in the legal profession has lost all common sense. And I'll tell you why. In law school, you get your professor, he gives you this case, you take the defense, you take the other side, and argue the case. Well, you might not agree with the facts of the case, you don't agree with it, but you have to argue it to effectively defend your client's position,
Yeah.
whether you agree with it or not. So at some point, having done that, you lose your common sense. It doesn't matter what the facts are, you have to distort them. You have to come up with language and adjectives that misinterpret everything to present a case that the other side's going to have trouble figuring out what the hell you're talking about.
Yeah.
That's called muddying the waters.
Yeah.
And they live in mud. And that's why these lower court decisions from these judges, they live in mud too. Because all day long they have these lawyers throwing mud around. Well, they come up with a decision, it's no good, it's mud. Then it goes to a higher level. Now the higher level doesn't necessarily see all the mud, like an appellate court. They just see the law, they see the facts, that's what they look at. So they're not mired in the mud. Eventually, the higher the case goes, the more concise and true it gets.
And I see in the Supreme Court in action, but I never seen the appellate court on action. But I believe that if those judges in district court or justice court or even muni court will do their job right, there was no need for an appellate court. It was no
but
need.
look at the
lawyers.
amount of cases.
Lawyers always push you for appealing. Well, we lost, but we're gonna appeal. Of course, you're gonna appeal. It's more money for you, son of a bitch. You know.
Yep, the cases are over when the money runs out, is what a bailiff told me one time. That's what determines the length of a case. When the money runs out, that's over.
Yeah.
So in my particular case, we had a judge who wanted to make sure that the money ran out, so he stole the money and gave it to the lawyers, thinking that'll be the end of the case because the money's gone. But he forgot that the one person in the case wasn't dependent upon that money to keep things going. He never figured that. Where the hell did this come from? So now the case is still going, and no one can figure out why or how.
And
And this judge reserved $400,000 in case I appeal.
Yeah,
Have you ever heard of such a thing?
But what Judge Earl, Alan Earl, right?
Correct.
That's what you're talking about?
Correct.
He didn't think that the Tribune was going to be involved
No,
in this.
he had no way
You
of
know,
knowing anything.
thanks to Alexandra Cohen, you know, that she met you and she brought you here. She started the articles, and then she had other commitments that she could. She didn't think it was going to last this long.
Well, let's
she
look
didn't think it was going to last that long.
No,
So
but-
she let Natasha Minsky take over for a couple of weeks, and then I took over. And it's been
it's
going
a-
on for 16 weeks.
What it's no longer really about my family or me. It's gone way past that, which the judge never anticipated.
It's the
this either.
principles, and it's
Well,
the law.
It's not only that.
And
it
the
says
law.
ramifications, huge ramifications through the trust industry. And here in Nevada, they tout themselves, all the trust lawyers and creators of these trust documents tout Nevada as the #1 place to create a trust. Well, no, it isn't. It's the last place, because if you have a judiciary that won't uphold the laws, you got nothing. And then the other thing that Judge Earl failed upon is he actually stole money from a bank by stopping payment on a cashier's
Yeah, but
check.
that people don't. I don't think people pay attention to that because everybody is the first. Everybody is the best. Look at the car dealers. The best car dealer in the city. Go to the radio station. The most listening. How
What does
you
a
are?
cashier's check got to do with the best?
Eh?
What does a cashier's check
Well,
has to
you
do
said
with the...
that Nevada is supposed to be the best.
with trust.
For
right.
trust.
But then I went to cashier's checks. Now, cashier's checks is a document that's accepted as cash. And the reason for that is, how do you close any business transaction where I don't trust you, you don't trust me? It comes down to money, okay? So I want the deed to this property I'm buying, and you're gonna get money for the deed. Well, we have to do that at the same table at the same time, because you're not gonna sign the deed till you get the money. So, to facilitate the whole deal, you use a cashier's check. And that takes care of it, rather than sit there with a room full of cash that can be stolen and everything else. And one of the reasons I got a cashier's check was for the following reason, and even the banker told me that. What do you want to do walking around with over $1 million in cash? I really don't, when you think about it. Now, what happens if Earl put out a warrant for my arrest so he could grab the money, right? What if I have the money on me and I get grabbed and the police throw me in jail and I have this money
And
on
then
me?
you become a drug dealer, a trafficker.
No, the
You
money disappears.
Right.
It's gone.
Right.
So then you go to the sheriff that arrested me. What money? He didn't have any money. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's
What
exactly
proof
what they
I
do.
have? What proof do I have? When I have a cashier's check, one thing I have is there's a record. Okay?
And with that tone, we end today's show. And if you want to hear more about the cashier check, listen to The Herd at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
I might be
now,
nice to talk about it.
now, stay tuned for Dr. Steve Dempsey, Captain Truth.